Hello, happy people, and welcome to your Moment of Zed, the YouTube channel dedicated to the most beautiful car in the world. I'm inside of it right now. The BMW Z3, or as the folks in Calgary call it, the Z3. I'm Mark, and I'm going to do a video today in a style that I really haven't done one before, the talking head video, which has gotten so popular on YouTube. Not that it's something I plan on doing all the time, because next video I'll be back to fixing or breaking something, as I often do. I guess the reason I wanted to do this today is in 2 days it is our 5th anniversary, 5 years of Moment of Zed and like 130 or 140 videos. So I'm kind of looking back and I asked myself, why did I start this? Why do I work on my own car at all? And that's kind of the theme of today. We'll see if my reasons match yours or reverberate with you. But before we get to that, we have 2 Zeds of the week. And first up, we have Sebastian from California with his 2000 formerly 2.3 liter 5-speed Roadster, now a 2.8 liter. Obviously, he replaced the engine. This car has been in his family since he was 7 years old. He started driving it when he was 15, and he's had it for about 6 years since then. And he has done a number of mods and improvements, including those beautiful wheels, Bilstein struts and Eibach springs front and back, along with various other upgrades, including to the Vano system. He's got some M3 suspension parts. He has an Alcantara steering wheel and shift boot to match, and he's getting ready to do a bunch of other upgrades to that beautiful bronze car. And next up, Kiko from beautiful Barcelona, Spain with his 1998 1.9 liter 5-speed Roadster, obviously with a nice hardtop. This is fairly new to him, and he also says it's pretty stock. He is looking to upgrade the exhaust system. I gave him a few suggestions that he asked for, and if you have any, please put them in the comments. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for sharing your beautiful cars. If you'd like to see your car on Zed of the Week, please follow the easy instructions in the description below. And also, if you appreciate my videos like this content, or probably more likely my usual repair stuff, feel free to buy me a coffee using the QR code here or the link in the description. It's certainly always appreciated, and you're helping us out, so that'd be a great thing. Why wrench on your own cars? Or why do I wrench on the Z3 and occasionally on my wife's when she lets me? And I'll talk about that more in a minute. I guess one of the main reasons is to save money. I'm certainly not a rich man by any means, and labor rates at shops, independent, or certainly at dealerships are $125, $150. I think the last time I had to take this to a shop to do something I couldn't do, it was a $150 labor rate. And that's a lot. And a lot of the stuff that's simple on these cars, and most any car up until, I'll say, 2010 or so, when things started getting really complex, you could probably do yourself by watching YouTube videos or reading the old forum posts or something like that. So money savings is a big reason that I wrench on my own car. Another reason number 2, is I know that the job's done right, with the caveat when I know what I'm doing. And we'll talk more about that too in a minute. I know when I changed my oil that good oil was used. I didn't cross-thread the drain plug. I didn't not tighten the filter enough, or all these horror stories I hear coming out of shops. And I know that the job was done well by someone who actually cares. I guess, though, reason 3, and the main reason that I wrench on the Z3, or on any car for that matter, is satisfaction. I think in the modern world, a lot of us have jobs where we don't get any particular satisfaction. We can't look at something we did and say, wow, I really did a good job on that, or I created something that didn't exist anymore, or I fixed something that was broken, or I made something ugly look beautiful. Manual labor jobs that people in the past, and I mean even in the ancient past, where people grew food and you could see it grow and you could see the results of the hard work you put in, I don't think a lot of us have those jobs anymore. We go to an office, we push papers, or nowadays push electrons from one place to another, and sure, maybe your boss says, hey, great job on this, or whatever, but it's just not the same as that hands-on. I got dirty, I created something, I got dirty, I fixed something. The satisfaction you get of actually physically being able to see the job that you did come to fruition and be complete. And I think that's something that's lacking in the modern world for a lot of us. Now, I'm very lucky, and I'm not going to denigrate my regular job, which is high school teacher. I have great kids, I have great bosses, I work at a great school. I do have kids who come up to me and thank me for what I do. But of course, working with teenagers, if you've worked with them, you know that they're not always open about their thanks, I guess, for lack of better words. And sometimes you don't see the results till years after. You'll run into someone and they'll be like, oh, wow, I really loved your class, or you really taught me this, or thanks to you, I did this. That happens to me occasionally as I'm out and about, and it's nice, and I do get job satisfaction from what I do, but it's a different kind. When I do something here on the car, and something's broken, like the suspension, or whatever it is that I've done, the whole front of the car that I did this past summer, front of the motor anyways, and it wasn't working well, and now it is. It didn't look good, now it looks great. Even just washing the car and doing the ceramic coat like I did a year or two ago, these things there's tangible results in front of you. And to me, I think that's the main satisfaction with working on your own car, or doing any kind of manual labor for that matter. I think it's that kind of tangible satisfaction that is the thing I like most about wrenching. So those are my main reasons to want to wrench on this car and to want to continue in YouTube. Now I want to talk about the flip side of that, I guess the bad side of wrenching on your own car. There's some reasons that I probably shouldn't. I guess one of the big ones is sometimes I screw things up and break them. I have a video out from a while ago when I was working on my suspension that I broke a bolt, and it cost me really a couple days of labor just because I didn't have a good understanding of what I was doing before I went in. I knew how to do the job, but it's these small things that'll bite you. And if you're not a professional mechanic, or maybe a shade tree guy with 20 years of experience, you'll kind of miss them. I should have known that particular bolt I was trying to remove was sealed with red thread sealer, and I needed to heat it first, and I needed to hit it with the impact wrench at a minimum first, and I ended up breaking something that made my job very difficult, and I'll link to that video in the description. But I've also done the same thing and did the exhaust way back when I first started this channel. And I did the same thing. I wrenched too hard on a nut, and I broke a stud, and I ended up having to drill out the stud and replace it with a nut and a bolt. And I spent an extra 2 days under the car in a very uncomfortable position trying to fix that. Now, could I have taken it to a shop and paid the $150 an hour for them to fix it up for me? Yeah, I probably could have. But I guess you get into that tunnel vision where it's like, all right, I screwed this up, and now I'm going to be the one that fixes it because this is my car and it's my mistake. And I think that happens, and sometimes you get in over your head, and sometimes you just need professional help. For instance, when I needed to do the front main seal, I researched it, and I found out that one of the, I guess the nut or the bolt on the front, on the crankshaft that I was going to have to remove was torqued to some ridiculous torque setting. And for me to break that loose, I just knew it was going to be too difficult for me to do without a lift and without the proper tools. And I sent it to the shop, and it was going to cost me $400. And because the car was so filthy from dripping oil out of that front main seal for so long, they had to clean it up. It took them a lot longer than they thought it would, and I got charged more. But at least that time I recognized what I could and couldn't do. As Clint Eastwood so aptly put it, a man's got to know his limitations. And I think that's important when you wrench on your own car. Do your research, and sometimes you just shouldn't do it. Other times the job's pretty simple, but you don't have the right tools. Quick, for instance, I was wrenching on my wife's Mazda CX-5, which is a 2017. I needed to do the belt tensioner because it was leaking hydraulic fluid. And while I was at it, I was going to do the belts, which were original to the car, and it has over 100,000 miles on it now. And I thought, well, 2 belts and a belt tensioner, how hard can this be? I did the same work on the Z3, so I'll go at it on the Mazda. Well, the Mazda's a front-wheel drive, and to get at the stuff I needed to get at, I needed to remove the fender liner, which isn't the end of the world, but it's all those stupid plastic clips. Without getting into too much detail, I managed to replace one belt, not replace the other, because I really didn't have the right tools to do so, and the position of it made it difficult to do, and it was a stretch belt, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then I tried to do the belt tensioner, and I ended up stripping one of the nuts that needed to come off, and it looked simple as hell, other than, you know, my access to it was limited. But I really didn't have the right tool, and it was too hard to see, to recognize, and ended up almost stripping it out. And I had to stop because I was going to completely strip it. It's going to have to go to the dealer to do the belt tensioner, and those are the kind of things that sometimes you don't know till you get into it and you screw it up. And another reason that sometimes maybe I shouldn't wrench because I don't have all the tools I need. I don't have all the expertise all the time. With that said, I always promise you that if I'm doing something on a Z3 and I screw it up, I'll let you know that I did it, just like on that suspension job. And I'm not going to lie to you, and I'll tell you if I don't think you should do it yourself and the reasons why, and I'll tell you the trouble spots I run into, and also what other people have said about it, because I'd like you to have, if you're going to do the work and you're going to base it off my video, I'd like you to be successful. I just think there's some times that you just got to take a step back, like I did with the front main seal, and say, you know what, I'm just going to have to eat it. I'm going to have to pay the $125 or $150 an hour or whatever it is, take it to a shop you trust, and just get the professional help. Sometimes you just have to do that. So folks, there you have it. Why I wrench, why I shouldn't, and if this applies to you, let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this content, don't worry, I'll be back with actual repair videos next time. Please crush that like button, and remember, friends don't let friends drive boring.